What's up, tribe? How y'all doing? We have thankfully come to the end of the road on what we are calling the marriage boot camp experience. First of all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video that's coming up. Um, this is marriage boot camp season. I don't even know, y'all, because they blend all the seasons together. But this is a reality star. But this is the season finale. I just have to say, I was very disappointed with this season. I just expected different or expected more because of the people on the show. And don't get me wrong, they gave me good TV. Like there was some good, reality TV type stuff, but the problems just to me weren't that deep. And maybe it's just me. Um but I just don't feel like I just didn't get it. I felt like Brandy, I'm just going, all right, let me just break it down and keep it real. Brandy and her dad situation, I really felt like that situation was milked and pulled to make it to be bigger than what it really was for the purposes of them being on the show. Like, I don't know if Brandy needed to be on the show, if you catch what I'm saying, or if the show needed another family. And, because I don't see what was so horrible about their situation that it was at this point. Like, I get Brandy was frustrated with her dad, feeling like, there may be some things that she did that weren't cool as far as like being an escort or whatever. But Brandy, you out here flashing your boobs and getting drunk and cussing people out and all the things, all the stunts you pulled and all the antics you've done. You can't really be that mad at your dad that he believes some of the bullshit or that he's listening to the tabloids, because go back and look at your seasons on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like, bitch, you are on some extra shit. Anyway, Renee and her sisters, I can see Renee is a drama queen. Like, she is. I love her to death. I have loved Renee since Mob Wives. Even when Renee is doing her being Renee, that's just who she is. And again, I can see where you could say, I'm at a point in my life where I can't deal with this anymore. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe because I don't have these kind of problems with my family. But I say all that to say this ain't gonna be long, because it's not a whole lot. I don't have a lot for y'all. It was an anticlimactic ending. There was only one thing that kind of happened that was like, oh, but then the rest of the episode was like, all right. So, the episode started with all of them talking or whatever, and Brandy is itching for a fight with Amber. Like, it's the last day. Everybody knows it's the last day. They have to make their decisions, and Brandy is itching for this fight with Amber. And they've been going at it the whole season. And I feel like Brandy decided this is it. It's gonna go down. Like, this is my last day to give it to her, and it's going down. And she was basically letting. I'm sorry. She was coming at Tanya first. I'm sorry. She was talking to Tanya Amber's mom, and she was like, "You a drug addict, right? You got a drug problem. Like, no, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. You're a drug addict, and you need some help." Anybody who's been watching the show halfway sleep knows that Tanya is a drug addict. Like, it is clear that she has abused her prescriptions. And I think that Tanya's in denial for a lot of reasons. I mean, one, she's in denial because who the hell want to be called a drug addict? Whether they really have a problem or not. It isn't until you are ready to admit you have a problem that you are going to admit you have a problem. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. But Brady, who the fuck? Like, again, who put you in charge of the honest police? Like, go worry about your issues with your damn daddy. You ain't got to be worried about what Tanya over here doing, and you damn sure don't need to be confronting her, talking about something. No, you're gonna admit you have a problem. You're gonna admit, bitch, if you don't get out my face. And that's pretty much what Tanya told her. Get out my face. Tanya's problem is that, y'all. Okay, let me take a time off for a second. So I live in Maryland, right? There are tornado warnings in Virginia. Like, power is out. They shut down flights coming in and out of Dallas. And I just looked outside. Yo, the sky is like pitch black, yo. That's crazy. We're going to make this video real quick, because I don't know what the fuck. I might be getting My power might be getting ready to go out. We're going to do this real quick. Y'all know how you had them summer storms. I don't know where you guys live, but in this area, it seems like as soon as spring gets here, because spring just decided to show up like last week, then we have these summer storms like in the evening around the same time. They last about 30, 40 minutes and then they move on. But it seems like today is going to be a really bad one. Anyway, we'll keep this quick. Tanya seems to have a problem accepting the fact that she has a drug problem. People who are taking prescription pills seem to think that they can't become addicted. And there are some people, and that's where Tanya is, because Tanya's thing is, but these are prescription, these are prescription, these are prescription. That doesn't mean that you can't abuse it. Just because they're prescription drugs doesn't mean you can't abuse them. And that's what you're doing. And you're mixing them with alcohol. Like, you really shouldn't be taking 3-4 Vicodin a day and then drinking 3 or 4 glasses of wine. Like, that's probably not the best idea. And then you wonder why people think you high. Like, you are. Her face looks bad. Like, her skin looks bad. She slurs her words. Her eyes are butt spaced out. You have a problem, Tanya. So anyway, they're doing all this. Judge Toller does the whole breakdown. You know, this is your last day and y'all need to make this decision. And she kind of recaps what she's seen throughout the 10-day process for each person. And says, you know, so you got to make a decision, what you can deal with, and blah, 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 right? Because like I said, I don't expect any major, like, decisions. Like, I don't see where anything is so serious, for the exception of Matt leaving last week. That was the big decision I thought needed to be made. And he took himself out of the equation. His ass left. So here's the bombshell. I'm not going to build it up anymore. Here's the bombshell. Mama Jones. Like, remember last week when we kept saying that there's something more, something that has happened, that the Joneses aren't really letting us know what's up, that there's more to this story, there's some layers we're not getting? Well, come to find out, Mama Jones goes to Renee, because after Judge Toller went through her little thing, she felt attacked. And she felt like Judge Toller was putting everything on her, and she felt like Chrissy was getting off, and her thing was, I'm not the victim. Chrissy is not and she kept saying I'm not the victim, but what I think she wanted to say was I'm not the villain. But she kept saying victim, but I don't think that's what she meant. I think she meant I'm not the villain. Because she was like, I'm not the victim, Chrissy is. But she was trying to say, but what she was trying to say was that Chrissy is not as innocent as you think she is. So what she meant was villain. She just misspoke. And what she's trying to say is that there's a lot that y'all don't know about little Miss Chrissy, and she's not as innocent as y'all think she is. And y'all need to really, basically back up off me and understand that there's more to this, and I'm not the bad guy in this scenario. So she goes to Renee. Now, mind you, I told y'all, they are friends. Renee has been friends with Chrissy and Jim for years, because Renee used to be a stylist for like Method Man and all them back in the day. So she has known them like legitimately friends outside of this whole situation. And I think Mama Jones probably knew Renee as well. So she felt comfortable going to talk to her. And she was like, I really need to talk to you about something. Can I kind of confide in you, whatever. Well, come to find out, Mama Jones tells Renee, on the way to the show, I ran into Chrissy's best friend at the airport. She works at the airport. And she basically let me know that Chrissy has been cheating on Jim, and Chrissy has a relationship, and she's in here acting like she's the victim and everything is so bad, but she's been cheating on my son, and I've been holding on to it, but I'm tired of people feeling like I'm the bad guy, and I'm not the bad guy. And Renee was like, don't bring that up. Renee was like, leave that shit. Don't, she was like, stay out of it. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up alienating yourself from your son. Like, don't get in the middle of that. Like, that's they business. That's not your place. Stay out of it. And Renee tried to tell her, like, let that shit go. But then Renee was like, I've been friends with Chrissy for a long time, and I can't let this shit slide, because what I'm worried about is that she's going to blindside Chrissy with it, like, at some point of the show. Like, sometime in the next couple of hours, because literally they were only there for a few more hours. So she was like, sometime in the next few hours, I feel like she's going to try to use this information and blindside Chrissy. And from where Renee is sitting, she doesn't know what Jim knows or doesn't know. She doesn't know what Chrissy knows or doesn't know. She just knows that Mama Jones is sitting on this information. She don't even know if it's true or not. But what's important is that Mama Jones thinks it's true, right? So Renee, and I ain't mad at Renee. That's what a friend would do. I would have done the same thing. Renee went to her and was like, "Yo, I just need to let you know what's up. Do with the information what you're gonna do with the information, but I need to let you know what's happening." And this is what I love. I love real bitches, yo. I love real bitches because when Mama Jones walked up, Renee didn't backpedal or pussy pop. Mama Jones was like, "What's going on? What's up?" Renee was like, "Oh, I just told her what you said when we talking about it." I mean, she ain't even try to be like, "Well, I just had to talk to Chrissy." She was like, "Oh, I told her what you said." You know what I mean? Like, I'm letting you know what's really up. And Mama Jones was like, "Well, Chrissy, well, talk to me, talk to me." And Chrissy was like, "I ain't got nothing to say." Like, Chrissy was hurt. You could see it. She went up to the room and she told Jim, "Your mother is telling people about our situation, and I'm done. It's time for us to go." And she starts packing. She's like, "We need to leave." Like, and Jim jumps on board and he's like, "All right, let's go." And Jim is like, "Ma, I can't believe you did that." So what it seems like happened, because here's the thing, and like the doctors are watching this whole thing, and I think the doctors are waiting for Chrissy and Jim to go at it, but they're not. They're both mad at Mama Jones. So here's what happened. Y'all know how folk do, especially black folk. You keep our business our business. Like, yeah, we going on this reality show and we trying to solve our issues, but there's certain things we ain't gonna speak on. And that wasn't something Mama Jones was supposed to bring up. What it seems like is that whatever the situation is between Jim, Chrissy, and whoever this other person is, they've already dealt with that. They know the situation. Jim seems to know what the situation is, and they have already dealt with whatever the situation is. Whether Chrissy cheated on Jim, whether Chrissy was just seeing somebody else. Because, again, remember, Jim and Chrissy were in this weird place where they were together, but not really together. She's living in Miami. He's in New York. So who knows what type of situation they had. They might have had an open, you can see other people, I can see other people. They may have had a moment where Chrissy stepped out and they've already processed that and they've dealt with it. But it seems like the point was that information wasn't supposed to be brought up at boot camp. And Chrissy and Jim leave. And of course the doctors are getting on my fucking nerves talking about something. See, we can't help them if they won't be honest with us. And they've been sitting on this all this time. And now they're leaving with fresh wounds and with raw emotions. Not from Chrissy messing with this other chick. I mean, messing with this other person, because Chrissy and Jim was cool with that piece of it. They weren't even mad about that. What they were mad about was that Mama Jones told it. That's what they were mad about. So whatever that was, they don't need y'all help with that. They've processed that. They've dealt with that. And Mama Jones' reason for doing it was strictly personal and selfish, because she just didn't want to be seen as the bad guy, and she thought she had a piece of a juicy gossip that she was going to throw out there and throw at Chrissy, and she really was going to try to blindside her. She really was. And Renee deaded that shit, and then come to find out, Jim knew about it the whole time. Or at least he wasn't. I believe if Jim didn't know, it would have been a whole nother scenario. Like, he wouldn't have took it that way. So Jim clearly knew whatever that scenario was, or whatever that situation was. So, honestly, that was the biggest aha of the whole episode. But let's run through the rest of it. So they left. Mama Jones stayed, and of course, when it came time to choose, they had the pictures, and you had to hold up the picture of the family you wanted. So when she held up the picture, had all three of them in the picture, and she was like, Jim is gonna fix it because he has to fix it. And the nurse, Lord, the doctor was like, really? Jim has to fix it? She was like, yeah, Jim will, and you can tell that that's her mentality. She was like, Jim will make this right. Like, I'm not worried about it. Jim's not gonna allow her to come between us, and he'll fix it. And the doctor was like, see, that's part of the problem. You need to fix it. This isn't about Jim fixing this. This is about you fixing it. She said, and what you need to look around you and see, you're by yourself right now. Like, when Jim had to make a decision, you see who he chose. And I think Mama Jones, I keep wanting to say Mama D from Love and Hip Hop, but I think Mama Jones need to really look around her and take heed to that. Like, your reason for doing that was fucked up. And And don't get me wrong, Jim ain't going nowhere because he told her before he left, "I'll call you tonight." Like he's not, but as far as fixing it, because Chrissy was hurt. She was crying and she was like, she feels so betrayed. She's so hurt. She's like, I feel like I can't trust her, and that's a lot. That's a lot. So whatever progress they had made over the last days, in the real scenario, it was gone. It was gone in a matter of minutes. It was gone. So there's that. The only other major thing that happened, Brandy and Amber. So Brandy picking at Amber. She was picking at her mother earlier. So of course Amber comes. Her mother went and told, Brandy said this to me and Brandy said that to me. So of course Amber is like, I'm gonna cuss her out. I'm gonna tell her to shut the fuck up. Blah 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 blah. Being Amber. So Amber and Brandy get into it. Brandy called Amber a narcissist. She said you're a narcissist. She said, Renee, you're a narcissist. Well, I don't think Renee was there, but one of her sisters were there, and they were like, no, Renee's not a narcissist. And Brandy was like, you don't think so? Like, I do. And the other sister was kind of like, yeah, she has moments. Like, yeah, she can sort of make things about her all the time. And they were really having an honest sort of conversation. But, so then Amber was like, well, who's the other narcissist? Brandy was like, you. Again, yo, Brandy irritates my soul, but she's honest. Like, you don't always want to hear what she has to say. She don't always say it in the way that's probably the most tactful, but damn it, she'll say it. So they said. So of course now Amber's getting mad. Who you calling her? You know how Amber. So she's riling up, right? She riling up. So Renee, by this time Renee's in the room. Renee stands up because Amber jumps up. So Renee stands up and she's like, nope, it's not because Amber talking about something. I'll flip this table around. And Renee was like, nope, you won't do it today. So she's standing up and just holding them apart. So they're pulling them apart. Here's my thing. And I say this about reality shows. I say this about real shit. I told y'all I work in a school. I see it all the time. I used to tell my students on the first day of school, I used to tell my students, whatever you do, you better mean it, because I don't break up no fights. I don't. Let me tell y'all a story. This review going left because it ain't really a whole lot more to say. The last time I broke up a fight, let me tell y'all what happened. The last time I broke up a fight in my classroom, two girls was fighting, and they was about my size, right? So these were two big girls fighting, right? And I got in there to try to break that thing up, and one of them girls knocked me down, and my fat ass flipped around on the floor till my students was more worried about me than the fight, right? That's the last time my ass would break up a fight. So I used to tell my students, if you want to jump up and get bucked, just make sure that you good. Just make sure that you good until security get here. Because I ain't breaking up no fights. Nah. Now back to this. I say all that to say, Amber jumped up talking about what she going to do, and she'll fuck this up, and she'll do this, and she was going to do this to Brandy, and do this to Brandy, and she ain't never tried to swing. Never tried to swing. See, that's that Carly Red shit. If you watch Love and Hip Hop, you know what I'm talking about. Carly Red do a whole lot of this, but she makes sure security is in place before her ass act like she going to throw a punch. Amber ass jumped up and ain't do shit. You did all that, and you ain't said a damn thing. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, y'all. That was somebody texting me to see if the power was still on. I told y'all these storms, that's my sister lived with me with the baby. So she was trying to see if the power was on before she came over here with the baby, so she knew whether she had to go somewhere else. Anyway, so, y'all. Anyway, so Amber did all that huffing and puffing, and she ain't throw a motherfucking punch. She ain't mean that shit. She ain't mean it, because if she really wanted to fight, she'd at least swung. She ain't swing. All this, yeah. So anyway, she does what she does. Go upstairs, talking about she leaving, she gone, she don't need this shit, and all that. Security, the producers came and separated them and all that. All that bullshit. So, that was the only other exciting thing. So here's how it broke down. Brandy and her dad decided they're going to work on their relationship. Even though Brandy was like, you exhaust me, I'm tired, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. But in the end, they chose to stay in each other's lives. I already told you what Mama Jones decided. She decided that she wanted to have a relationship with Jim and Chrissy. Don't know if Jim and Chrissy want to have a relationship with her. Um, the Graziano sisters. So here's what happened with that. Renee and Lana decided that they wanted to keep the three sisters. Jen said she needed a break. So she held up her picture. It was only the other two sisters. She was out of it. And what she said was that when they did that exercise where they sent her away and they had her at the hotel and they did the exercise where they showed that she died and how the sisters never spoke to each other. And she said they made so much progress in just that 24 hours of me not being in the equation that I feel like I need some time. I need to take some time away and force the two of you to learn how to communicate with each other without me being the go-between or the mediator. And that's what she said. She was like, I'm not saying I'm not saying I want you out of my life. I'm saying that we need a break from each other so that the two of you can learn how to build a relationship without me being in the middle. And I thought that was decent. I thought that made sense. And then, last but not least, Amber and her mom. Look, y'all. Of course, they decided to stay in each other's life. But with the caveat that she would get some help. And y'all know how they do the update. So supposedly with the update, she did get some help. She's weaning herself off the medication, which that's commendable. Brandy and her dad got along for a while. Then they fell out. But then her dad got sick. So they're back on speaking terms because she's there helping her dad through his medical situation. The Joneses, they still the Joneses shit. I don't know. Chrissy and Jim still together. They still hadn't got set a date about getting married. And then they brought up how her house burned down on Christmas Day. So it makes me wonder, when did they film this? Because Christmas Day, Mama Jones' house burned down. It was on social media and stuff. And this is damn near damn near June. So I'm like, when did they even tape this show that now it's 6 months later and it's still going on? But anyway, the Grazianos, same thing. It worked for a while, and then Jim was in the middle again. So everybody sounds like they're right back where they started. So like I said at the beginning, other than Matt and come to find out, Amber done found a new boyfriend and she pregnant again. I don't watch the reality show that she's on. So I don't know nothing about this chick. This is the first time I've ever seen this chick. But she's pregnant in real life now with some dude she met after Matt. And again, like I said, they taped this show at least 6 or 7 months ago. And Matt then messed around and got married. Yeah, I can't with these people. So anyway, supposedly it's over for real. It's between the two of them. They both moved on. So that's where we are. That's where we stand with all of this. Okay. But that's the end of this episode. I can't even talk. That's the end of this season. And there we go. Oh, wait a minute, y'all. Hold on. Hold up. Honey. Okay, I hope y'all watch this to the end. I just saw the preview for next week's episode because I hadn't looked. I fast forward through it, but for something just caught my eye while I was doing, because it was playing in the background while I was doing the video. Honey, Amber's new boyfriend that she just had the baby by, he was a cameraman on the show, and they started messing with each other while the show was still taping. Honey. So y'all gonna get a bonus episode, a bonus video, because I'm gonna watch that next week. I'm gonna see what they talking about. I'm gonna bring it. If it's something good worth bringing back, I'm gonna bring it back. But yeah, so Amber's had the baby, and the father is a cameraman on the show. So all this time you was trying to make a decision about whether you was gonna stay with Matt or not. Your ass was sleeping around, or at least flirting really, really hard. But come to find out, they actually started sleeping. I'm pointing at the TV like y'all can see the TV. They started sleeping together while the show was going on. Y'all, I am tripping right now. I gotta go. This video running long. It's done started lightning outside. Let me get off this thing. I'm gonna try to drop Love and Hip Hop tonight, but if it's doing this, I'm not really gonna fool with it. If it's still thundering and storming, I ain't gonna fool with it. But if not, y'all know y'all will get it tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Peace.